order today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
And it took my breath away. We have 55 million people that are not U.S. citizens in this country. 55 million. How foreign is America? If you live in an American city, you probably find yourself thinking that really often. If you get in an Uber, the driver's almost always an immigrant. If you visit a farm, the workers are migrants. Stop at a university, about 25 to 30% of almost all universities are foreigners. It's happening all over, and we got a big reminder of that yesterday. The Trump administration announced that along with all of its efforts to round up and send back as many as 20 million illegal immigrants, it's going to look at the people supposedly legal in America. The administration says that anybody with a visa to be in the United States, whether it be an H-1B worker or a tourist or as a student, is subject to continuous vetting. If you become a Marxist and all of a sudden you say you hate our country and burn our flag, you should have your visa removed and returned back to your country. If all of a sudden you become an anti-American visitor, we have every right. We are no longer going to be suckers. The press freaked out that the administration would even be looking. Do you understand how screwed up the entire framing of our politics is? That the press gets mad that President Trump wants to know who's in the interior of our country? If you're a Somalian that came here and all of a sudden you are still an Islamist and you support Omar Fatah and Ilhan Omar and you're not assimilating to the United States of America, we have a serious problem. Until then, it turns out we've barely even looked at those people and whether they belong here. In a bombshell announcement yesterday, the State Department said that it's going to be checking for things like visa staying past the authorized time frame outlined in a visa, criminal activity, threats to a public safety, providing support for terrorism, and directly supporting in terrorism. Somalis, by the way, are notorious for running scam rings. And you know what? That sounds like something that we should have always been doing. But what does it say that we weren't always doing that? What it says that our leaders hated us. Our leaders see the world as 8 billion future Americans who have the right to come here whenever they want, the right to leech off our nation, the right to rob or plunder or loot America. The administration is finally saying no more. One of the best signs the other day was when Marco Rubio, who, again, Cuban, his family immigrated as refugees and assimilated. Marco Rubio announced that they were suspending all work visas for people coming here as truck drivers. By the way, if you are a law-abiding legal immigrant who is assimilated, this should be great news for you because it doesn't cheapen or dilute the process of you coming here.
Welcome to Truth with J.J. Carrell. This is a big deal. And I'm going to be honest. When I heard this number, 55 million visas, active visas in America, even I was stunned. I didn't even know that. And I feel like I'm on top of my game. If you would have told me there was 5 million visas, I would bristle at that and go, whoa, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Try to wrap your brain around 55 million. Try to wrap your brain around that. We're going to unpack. Charlie Kirk was 98%, right? 99% on everything except how many illegal aliens Trump needs to deport. I'm so tired. Let's start there. Okay, let's start on the negative. Damn, everything's negative. It's negative because we're fighting through an absolute destruction of American sovereignty for 4 years. 8 years of Joe Biden in between Obama. So we had 12 years of mass destruction. You don't unpack that. You don't do that overnight. It took them 12 years. It took them 8 years to get to the 4 years of Joe Biden. And it took them probably another 80 years prior to Obama to get to that point. It's not 20 million, Charlie Kirk. You're a very smart man. Very. You can pull out numbers. You can debate people. You have a gift from God. Get it right. It's not 20 million. It's 50 million. And some people in the business are whispering that it's really 60 million. I'm going to say this again because I have to. I want to be on record because I am correct. All the other people are wrong. I heard, who was it, Nick Fuentes or someone else this weekend? I was just watching clips, and they said it right. Maybe I'm going to give Nick Fuentes the credit. He said, when everyone else is telling you you're wrong, but you know you're right, then just stick to your guns. You're right. Whatever it is, you're right. You know it. You have done the research. You have lived it. You know exactly what the truth is. Just stand in it, wallow in it, and just tell everyone else to go piss off. So let's talk about the real number of illegal aliens in America before we move on, because this is important. This is the foundation. This is the problem. If I tell you, well, your husband, but he's not having an affair. Well, he really is having an affair. And everyone's telling you it's sexual, and he's been with this woman for 6 months, and well, no, he's just texting her. There's a big difference. It's still cheating. You're emotionally cheating. You're intellectually cheating on your spouse. But there could be I can come back from this, where other men or women see their spouses sleeping with someone. That's what I feel like every time we talk about this sin of illegal invasion. Well, there's 11 million illegals in a country. Well, no, there's 20. Well, there's 22. It's like, well, they're cheating, but they're really not cheating. They just kind of text each other. It's kind of like a friendship. We can come back from this. No, that's not what happened. Our government wasn't just texting with another government. Our government opened our borders and allowed in 30 million people in 4 years. Prior to that, not prior to Joe Biden taking office, there's a gap there. In 2019, MIT and Yale did a study where everyone agreed to, I didn't agree to it, but everyone outside J.J. Carrell agreed to, that they created an algorithm. They jammed all this demographic data into this algorithm. They ran the algorithm 1 million times, not 100,000 times, not 1,000 times, 1 million times, and it came out over and over and over and over again. The height of illegal aliens living in America in 2019 was 29 million. The average was 22. And everyone said, okay, let's go with 22. Why did they go with 22? I knew it was closer to 30 or over. Well, because 22 million, as grotesque as it is, it's more digestible than 30 million. So we go with 22 because the government and institutions like MIT and Yale that are not bastions of conservatism never lie. So we're just going to go off of what they say. 22 million. Joe Biden's administration has openly admitted to allowing in and releasing, arresting, releasing, and getting away almost 18 million in 4 years. I'm going to break this down for you because it's important. The federal government arrested approximately 12 million people in 4 years and released 95 to 97%, meaning everyone was released. Everyone was released. That's 12 million, okay? They admit that 3 million got away, meaning no one was there and saw them. So how do you come up with 3 million? That number should be 15 to 18 million, but let's just go off of them. Now that's 3 plus 12 is 15 million. The federal government admitted at least 1 million to 2 million people that they flew in. Listen to what I'm saying. They took chartered or commercial flights into America. Our government sent chartered flights across the globe, took all the people, put them on planes, illegal aliens, and flew them into our country and released them into America. They have admitted to it. Admitted it. Let's just use a round number because it's easy. 18 million. I'm telling you, add another 12, 15, 17 million gotaways onto the 3 million. Everyone that's in the business knows this is not even, they laugh at you if they say, well, 3 million people got away in 4 years. They were like, what are you talking about? Do you understand that 80% of the 2,000-mile southern border was left unmanned? That means 1,600 miles. Any given day, at any given time, there was no one on the border. No Border Patrol agent, nobody. The federal government admits to 40 million people being in America. I'm telling you the number is closer to 52 to 55 million. Let's use 50 as a round number. 50 million illegal aliens live in America. That's 1 in 6 residents in America is illegal alien. Charlie Kirk, who I have great respect for, what he has created, he's wrong. He's just wrong. It's not 20 million. Donald Trump admits that at least 22 million people crossed the border and were released into America in 4 years. 22. Are we all to believe that we had 0 illegal immigrants living in America up until 2021 when Joe Biden, the traitor, came into office? We're going to believe that? Now you add 55 million visa holders are in America. Student visas, tourist visas, resident visas, non-immigrant visas, HB1, HB2, HB blah, blah, blah. I had this discussion yesterday. Someone was asking me about the 55 million. And I said, do you understand how much 55 million of anything is? Anything. I'm telling you, 55 million people are in America on legal status. And the question, no one has the understanding, no one has the desire, and quite frankly, nobody wants to know who's monitoring these visas. I'm going to tell you. It's not the Border Patrol, 14,000 agents. They're securing the border. It's not the 6,000 ICE officers and investigators. They are doing investigations and rounding up illegal aliens in the interior. It's not HHS. They don't have the authority. It's not the FBI, Secret Service, ATF, DEA. So it lands under Department of Homeland Security, the giant, worthless, giant agency. And who within the agency is responsible for all the visas and everything that's going on? Well, Customs and Border Protection. Okay, well, I just named who they are. Customs officers are not tracking it. Immigration inspectors are not tracking this. Border Patrol, ICE are not tracking it. They can't. They don't have the facilities. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the training. They have different missions. So who in the hell is doing this? Well, it's a place called United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, USCIS. Well, how many officers do they have there? Do they have like 1 million? Well, no. No. They have 20,000. So those 20,000 are chasing all the visas and making sure they're all good? No, of course not. You have analysts. You have support personnel. So let's just chop that in half. 10,000. I'm being grossly generous here, okay? 10,000. All right, I'm going to tell you a little inside baseball. They can't hire enough people for USCIS. So they have taken the qualifications and made them basically zero. So for me to tell you that there's 20,000 employees and 10,000 of them are the smartest, brightest, most intelligent trackers, investigators, is a farce. It's just a lie. I'm just lying to you. So let's live in this lie. So 10,000 people from USCIS and what other agencies can cobble together and help within DHS are going to track 55 million people. Do you see the absurdity of this? Do you see how this is all a lie? One of the main drivers outside of the open borders of illegal immigration is visa overstays, where people just say, screw it, I'm just going to stay. Who is the investigative branch that's now going to go after visa overstays? Who does that? Well, that would be ICE. ERO, Enforcement Removal Office. Well, they're going around the country arresting people. There's nobody left to go after the visa overstays. And if you think that they're not overstaying by the millions, you're an absolute fool. An absolute fool. They're not leaving. They never leave. Do you know we don't have an entry-exit program after 9/11? They can say they do. They don't. There is no one enforcing our laws. Let me repeat that. We are allowing in tens of millions of people into America every year. And there's no one that's tracking it. No one's enforcing it. No one's doing anything. Or if I could speak like Jasmine Crockett and use double negative, ain't nobody doing nothing, honey. Ain't nobody doing nothing. So Donald Trump, thank God, and Marco Rubio is going to go through 55 million. Do you know how long, like I got a pen in my hand. Do you know how long it would take me? Do you know how long it would take me and 10,000 officers, and USCIS aren't officers, so I'm just using that term very loosely, to literally take this pen and move it to this side 55 million times. Can you even begin to understand how long that's going to take? Think of 10,000 officers, or whatever we want to call them, all in a giant warehouse with 55 million pens. We have to continually move it to the other side. Now, I tell you, those 10,000, and I'm being incredibly generous, are now going to track 55 million people with wild names or completely fictitious names and date of births. You have no way of tracking them. You don't know where they are. You go to their quote official address and they're not living there. So you actually have to physically go to that address. That's how investigation works. What am I going to do? Call them and say, hey, Mohammed, are you down here on Main Street in downtown Omaha, Nebraska? Absolutely, I am. Okay, great. That's not how investigations go. There's no, I'm going to work remotely. I mean, you have to physically go out. So now I got 10,000 people driving around the United States of America looking for 55 million people. America, do you understand how vulnerable you are? Do you understand what the people that run your country have done to us? Now, I want to layer on top of all of that 50 million illegal aliens. That means we have over 105 million people in America that are foreign nationals. We only have 350 million people. So about 1 in 3 to 1 in 4 people in America is a foreign national. 1 in 3, basically. I want you to tell me, name me a civilization throughout mankind, the history of mankind, that has been able to do this or would ever do this and survived. When there is a world war sets off, which you don't think we're on the precipice at any given time, whenever those nations begin to feel as if they have no other choice but to fight us, who do you think those 40,000 Muslims in Dearborn, who are they going to side with? How about all of the millions of H-1B1 visa holders from India? The same Indian nationals that have signed a petition, over 2 million of them, to help their brother that killed 3 Americans when he illegally U-turned his semi-truck. The illegal alien from India that could not pass the CDL test in California. California gave it to him anyway, and now he's driving on our street, and now there's a mom and 2 children gone to heaven, and their husband and father are stuck here feeling pain and suffering and loneliness that no one can ever imagine. No one wants to even understand that level of pain. But our government did this. One in 3 people in America is a effing foreign national. And guess what they do when they get here? Well, of course, they have babies. And because we're so stupid as a nation, so gutless, so corrupt, so morally bankrupt, and we're like whores. America is just a giant brothel. We just sell ourselves, sell our soul, our body, all our dignity. We sell it all for just a little bit of money. And what is our soul? What is our body? That is our citizenship. We give it away like a whore gives away her body. That's the truth. And the people that are running the brothel are disgusting, evil pieces of trash. Those brothel owners are our politicians. Who are the whores? Well, we are. Of course we are. Those parasites, the politicians and the elites, parasites don't live on their own. They don't create anything. What do parasites need? They need a host. Who's the host? It's America. Americans are the host. People can't make ends meet, and we just sent another couple $2 billion to Israel. We're flying Gazans into America for medical treatment, and our own people can't afford to get any kind of treatment. They're bankrupting because the system's so gosh dang corrupt, but we'll fly people in from Gaza. That's over 6,000 miles away. How many countries they fly over with first world medicine facilities? Why aren't they going to them? Why in God's name are we flying them into America? $300 billion, and Trump still sending money to Ukraine. I didn't want that. If I wanted that, Mr. Trump, I would have voted for Kamala Harris. Simple. I would have voted for that dumb piece of wood, Kamala Harris, but I didn't. I voted for you. It's long gone 72 hours, 24 to 72 hours, the war would be over. No, sir. No, sir. It's a little farther than that now. And maybe the bigger question is, why do we care? Why does anyone care what happens to Ukraine or Russia? Why? Don't tell me, well, it's global, all the threats. Really? Is Ukraine or Russia ever going to attack us head on? Come on, let's be honest. Can we just be honest for a second? The answer is no. Do we need Russian oil and gas? Well, no, we have more than enough. Why do we need Ukraine? Oh, I forgot. We have over 35 biolabs in Ukraine. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Well, why would Russia be mad that there's military on their border with biolabs right after COVID, and America runs them. Why is Russia upset about that? I don't know. It seems irrational. Like if China had all their military built up in Juarez and Tijuana and then had biolabs in Mexicali, 35 of them. Well, we wouldn't be upset. We wouldn't think that's a big deal. We would just kind of go, okay, they're just the Chinese. We can trust them. We live in the most corrupt times in the history of the United States of America. Easily the most corrupt time. $105 million minimum foreign nationals are in America. You heard Charlie Kirk, at least a third of the college population are visa holders. Why are we doing that? Why is it so hard for American students to get into education, college? Well, because 1 in 3 seats in college are going to foreign nationals. Explain how that's proper. Truckers are now making less and less money because we have flooded the trucker field, the long haul, the short haul truckers with illegal aliens that are working for pennies. We allow illegal alien trucks to come into America instead of turning around in that North American zone where they come across the border and they got to turn around within a couple miles and after they drop their load off and go back to Mexico. But if they have to drive further into America, they have to unload their load, detach it, and then an American trucker takes it. Now we don't even do anything. We just let them keep driving all the way up. Marco Rubio and DHS now I just read before it came on, are going to make the DOT stops, the way stations, they're going to make them immigration stops. So if the truckers that come in that can't speak English, they get arrested. CDL taken. $55 million visa holders are in America, and there's no one to track them. There are 50 million plus illegal aliens inside the United States of America, and there are only 6,000 law enforcement officers in ICE attached to that. I spoke to someone that I very much respect, and he validated everything that I knew and have known. All those task force that are going to find people, the IRS agents that are attached to ICE, the FBI, ATF, DEA, my contacts, because I'm watching their interaction on videos and I'm seeing and I'm looking at their policing style and I'm embarrassed. And I asked my buddy without any prompting, what are you hearing? Well, he said, what I'm hearing is that all of the officers, to include the ICE agents, many of them, because many of them have never done their job, are scared to death. Are scared to death to go hands-on. When's the last time an IRS agent took down an MS-13 gang member in the streets of Chicago or LA or the backwaters of Georgia? Go ahead. Tell me that. Tell me when the white-collar investigators were tackling brutal gang members that I did in my career. The answer is they don't. They never have. They're scared to death. We are the most vulnerable we have ever been in America history, period. Period, period, period. And I don't care how it sounds. I don't care how you think I'm blackpilling you. I'm just telling you the truth. 1 in 3 people in America is illegal alien or a visa holder that's going to be illegal alien because you're going to overstay. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I have a great guest I want to bring on because she has a great great event she's running, great events, but she has a new event coming up in Knoxville, Tennessee. But before I do, I want to talk about our sponsor, sat123.com, sat123.com/JJ. And I'm telling you, I have a friend named Chris Heaven. He runs Survival Dispatch, and he is bringing on an excellent group of people this week. And I go back on next week, and he's bringing on Sarah Adams from the Sean Ryan Show and the author of Benghazi. Mr. Calendar, I think his name is. He's a terrorist specialist. And they're going to talk about the coming disaster that's awaiting in America. It's not if we're going to have a terrorist attack. It's not if we're going to be attacked and we're going to have assaults across our nation. No, it's when and how bad is it going to be. And I'm telling you, as I've told you many times, I use sat123.com to prepare my family for that. You may want to prepare your family for everyday life, which I do, but I'm looking at a much bigger and broader picture, or a more focused picture. But I have a sat phone. My family has sat phones. My son has a ballistic backpack to go to school. My wife has a ballistic backpack when she travels to go in the airport. And if you think that's absurd, go ask the people, the mothers and fathers that have lost children just in the last year at school, and ask, would you like your son or daughter to have a ballistic backpack to just kind of curl up behind in a corner or under a desk? Yeah, I think so. Be prepared. That's what I'm saying. Go to sat123.com/JJ. Call the number on the screen, 941-841-0844. And again, something very shocking is going to happen when you call that number. Somebody named Bob from Bangladesh will not be on the other line. It will be Susie from Sacramento or Bob from Birmingham. Somebody that speaks English that's an American. I know it's shocking, but we're going to call them and just check and see if I'm lying. All right. I have a friend named Amy Young. She is running Stay Awake America Tour. Stay Awake America Tour. The next one is August 29th and 30th, which is this weekend in Knoxville, Tennessee. Amy, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, JJ. I really appreciate. Thank you for allowing me to talk to your audience. You're doing such amazing work. And, in backstage, a green room listening, it just answers the question and restates what our event is about. Stay awake, America. Don't have a false sense of security that everything is taken care of for you, that the government's got it, that the church has got it, that the doctors have got it, that the education system has got it. Absolutely no. You need to stay awake, America. And that's what the Stay Awake America Tour is about. Our mission is to unite, engage, and activate local action for national impact. So just like your SAT 123, that's getting you prepared. And the Stay Awake America Tour it's different than all of the other great conventions and events that are going around. All of them have their purpose. But what's non-negotiable for our event is that everything's for the glory of God, and we will deliver detailed solutions to give you personal and spiritual sovereignty. That's it. We have expert speakers. We're delivering through music, Christian rock stars, Christian up-and-coming Christian country stars joining us this weekend. You're right. It's August 29th and 30th, which is this Friday and this Saturday. We say Knoxville, Tennessee, because that's well known, the area. We're actually in Lenoir City. And listen to this. We've connected with the Patriot Church. We actually found a church that is speaking from the pulpit truth, biblical truth, and spiritual and current issue truth. They're not letting us down like many of the churches have done. JJ, you and I have connected because we were both raised in the Catholic faith, and there's wonderful people doing wonderful things in the Catholic Church, but there's also a lot of lies and deceptions. So we need to stay awake. We need to get educated. And the thing that I repeatedly say is there's not one man or one woman that's going to save us or save America till Jesus Christ walks again on this earth. And neither can President Trump save America or the world alone. He ultimately needs our prayers, our support, loud and clear, but ultimately he needs our action. We have to realize that our personal relationship with Jesus Christ gives us the power and the authority to give us personal sovereignty. Nobody, and it also mainly a responsibility. It gives us a responsibility that we have to take up the sword for our families first. Then, as soon as we can wrap up our families and get those secure, which, has been fallen to lies and deceptions and really division and chaos, which we know comes straight from the devil. That's not of God. Peace and love, that comes from the Lord. But anything with chaos, lies, deceptions, division, that comes from Satan. That comes from the devil. That also is tied into the globalists. I like to say, the Gates of Hell Foundation. So anyways, the Stay Awake America Tour, we have over 20, for the Knoxville event, we have over 20 national known speakers. Plus we have 2 musicians, bands that are coming. The Casper McLeod Band, they're a rockin' Christian rock band. They rock the house. And then we have a new up and coming artist who is a Christian artist, and his testimony is beyond. You'll love to have Dylan Jarvis with you. His testimony, he skirted a 30 sentence. He was addicted to heroin. He was addicted to drugs. He was filled with the chaos and lies and deceptions, but he beat it all. Downloaded from Jesus Christ and delivered to us to inspire and to bring us hope. So anyways, the Stay Awake America Tour is about, we're traveling across the nation by faith to unite, engage, and activate local action for national impact. So we will come to a city near you. If you're close to the Knoxville area, please grab a ticket. You can get it at stayawakeamerica.com. We will be streaming. So if you go the same, stayawakeamerica.com, scroll down for streaming, and you can get $5 off that ticket if you use code StayAwakeAmerica, STRE. And for all of JJ's guests, we'd love to offer you a discount on tickets. So if you get a general admission ticket, it's normally $39, but you can get in for $20 by using the code StayAwakeAmerica 20. StayAwakeAmerica. So at stayawakeamerica.com, and then code StayAwakeAmerica 20. So I really appreciate you. JJ, you'll be on a call-in, which you have graciously done for me for the last 3 events. And you're so important to the movement. The thing about the Stay Awake America Tour, also, we want to communicate to local communities that are starving for leadership. The leaders are you. You have a part of this tapestry to restore our republic. And anybody missing, the tapestry is not complete. So you need to get off the couch. It's non-negotiable, and get in the fight. Now, just like JJ, he made an amazing film. Just like me, God told me to facilitate this truth across the nation. But your call from God is totally different because it's unique to you, and it will match with your purpose, will match with your passion and your talents, which are divinely given. That's when you'll know that you are part of the solution, you are part of the plan, and we need each and every one of you. Everybody's important. No one person is more important than the other, but it is your responsibility to stay awake, to get engaged, Start with your family, and then penetrate out from your communities to your cities, to your states, to your local government. The good needs to stand up. We're in a spiritual war. It's a war against good and evil, and the prize is our souls. That's why it's so immediate. That's why it's so important at a time like this in history to stay awake. It's non-negotiable. Get off the couch. This is not a spectator sport. Get in the game. Whether it's checking on your neighbors, whether it's creating a community of like-minded people, whether it's having a community garden, whether it's doing a podcast, whatever it is, you've got to do something, because nobody's coming except Jesus Christ very soon. That's the sense of urgency. And we're also, besides the spiritual war, we're in an information war. Not everybody is getting the same information, AKA the truth. So we have the Bible and we have the Constitution. Get to know them. Get involved. Know Christ. Get prepared. Like JJ tells you, every show, that for a time as this, we were born. We were born at this time to be a part of this revival. We're the remnant. You got to choose which side you're on. And there's only two sides. There's Team Jesus or there's Team Lucifer. So pick your sides. It's non-negotiable. So please join us for the Stay Awake America tour this weekend in Knoxville, or Lenoir City, which is right outside of Knoxville. Go get your tickets. If you can't go, we would so appreciate your support by paying it forward. Buy a ticket and put in the comments, pay it forward. That way we can honor the Patriot Church with some extra tickets, because they're have been blessed us with hosting our event and allowing us to speak the truth, which a lot of churches aren't allowing us to do. So I really appreciate you, JJ. I appreciate you allowing me to spread the word. And you'll be on, if you want to see the live stream, you'll hear JJ. We'll do a trailer of What is Treason, Traffic, and then have a call-in, a Q&A. And that will be Friday at 1:30 Eastern time.
Hmm.
So,
Amy, I'm going to be very excited to talk to your audience as I've done in the past. I think what you're doing is so vitally important, and it is sharing the information, getting the word out. And you're right. This is a good versus evil. This is God versus Satan. And this is not I'm going to have a beer and pretzel and kind of watch from the sideline. It's get in the game. So please, everyone, go to stayawakeamerica.com. stayawakeamerica.com, and she'll be in Lenoir City, which is basically Knoxville, August 29th and 30th, which is this Friday and Saturday. Good luck to you, and keep fighting the fight, Amy.
thank you. I appreciate you. Thank
All
you
right,
so
God
much.
bless. Thank you.
God
Bye-bye.
bless.
Amy Young, she's great. I've known her for a couple months now. She's amazing. She's a force to be reckoned with, and she just feels a calling. So she created this tour and just went all in. People always ask, what can I do? Well, whatever talent that you have, you need to do that. And if that's organization and creating things, writing a book, podcasts, is it just you're an incredible baker and you want to have like a community gathering in your neighborhood of desserts and lemonade on a Sunday or Saturday evening, or just the middle of the week, and talk to your neighbors? That's powerful. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at what I have left. I got tons to talk about. There's so much to discuss because there's so much happening in the world. I feel like the Democrat Party is dead. I do. I believe they're a dead party walking. They just don't know it. They internally don't know it because they're so grotesquely stupid and corrupt. I think the people at the very top, I think the Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Obamas, the Clintons, they know it. They instinctively know it. They're sharks. They're not the puppets. I think someone controls them to a point, and they control everything else that goes on. What have the Democrats been doing and crying about the last couple of days? Well, or last couple of weeks is conservative states are now saying, no, we're not going to allow you to gerrymander our states. Even the blue states, the Republicans in the blue states are saying, you can't do this anymore. This is unconstitutional. And they're realigning, the redistricting. Al Green, Wolfman, Al Green, the pimp with his pip cane from Texas, just got redistrict out, meaning he has no district anymore. I love it. And the Democrats cry, well, this is unconstitutional. No, it's not. We're correcting your ills. We're correcting your crimes. We're restructuring. We're resetting the true boundaries. Listen to J.D. Vance talk to, I think it's MSNBC, one of those functionally retarded networks. Listen to him talk about the gerrymandering, the redistricting, because the Democrats did it. Go ahead and play this, Thomas.
We had way fewer House seats than we should have. One, if the Democrats hadn't aggressively gerrymandered, and two, if illegal aliens weren't counted in the census for purposes of apportioning congressional seats. The best estimates I've seen is that in California, for example, has 5 additional congressional seats than it should have because they count illegal aliens for the purpose of apportioning representatives. Meanwhile, Ohio, my home state, lost a representative. We're literally losing representatives for American citizens in order to give congressional representation to illegal aliens. Republicans are trying to balance out the scales a little bit for basic fairness and for the integrity of our democracy, which the president cares about as much as anybody in the country.
He's right. The Democrats have been lying, cheating, and stealing for decades, while the impotent, gutless, worthless Republicans sat by and let this happen. J.D. Vance is doing wonderful. I'm not bagging on him. I'm just saying without Donald Trump, none of this happens. Absolutely none of it. Who's going to do it? Marco Rubio? Marco Rubio has a spine now. It's like he had infused spine. J.D. Vance, America first, America first, America first. Where the hell did that come from? Trump. Where the hell did any of this come from? Trump. That's it. You have in the state of South Dakota has 1 congressional seat. Might have another one coming. Has 1. How does one state have one representative? When they redistrict, all hell's going to break loose. You're seeing it in Illinois. You're seeing it in Indiana. You're seeing it in Nebraska. You're seeing it everywhere. And on top of that, I'm looking at my screen as I'm about to pull up. Democrat voting registration, people voting and changing. 2.1 million Democrats nationwide have stopped or will not vote Democrat. 2.4 million more Republicans. That's over almost a 4.5 million swing. Go ahead and play this video if you will.
In all 30 states that track party registration, we're putting on the screen the data. It shows altogether Democrats have lost 2.1 million voters. Republicans have gained 2.4 million. That's a deficit that you have of 4.5 million voters.
That's 30 states. That's not 50 states. Democrats have held states with large, significant percentage of Republicans with 0 representation. Can you pull up that X post? I don't know if I have it or give it to you. It should be number 4, Thomas. I just want to show the audience. This has been going all over X, and I want you to see this for what it is. And I'm going to read it because it's important. This is how many percentage in the state, in these blue states, are Republicans. 36% of people live in Massachusetts are Republicans, 0 seats. 42% in Connecticut, 0 seats. 46 Republicans, 0 seats in Maine. New Hampshire, 46. New Mexico, New Hampshire, Rhode Island. Vermont, for God's sake, has 32%. We're in the 30s and high 40s And there's zero representation. Why? Because the Democrats gerrymandered their way through. When you think of a state, let's take Kansas. It's almost a square. It's like a rectangular, but almost a square. Or Arkansas. Don't you think the lines would just be like, okay, we're going to take this block and this block and this block and this block, and that's that section and that's that section? No, the Democrats go like this and they carve out like animals. Well, that's section 1. Wait a minute. That district goes almost over 50% of the state to the east, and then it's like it goes 2 miles for height. Well, we had to capture this. This is it's all black, so we wanted blacks to be represented. What? That's what's happened in America, and now we have no seats. I just listed, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 states. 10 states with in the high 30s to high 40% is Republican with zero representation. I swear to you, Almighty, that we are a corrupt third world banana republic. We are. If you think that we live in a representative government, you're an absolute abject moron. I want you to go to patriotsmade.com, patriotsmade.com/JJ. How do you take your power back? We don't give your money to the box stores who give it to their heirs, the Waltons, who then turn in and pay money to protesters. Who do you think pays for the pallets of bricks and stones and rocks? You think they just magically appear from a quarry? Or do you think they're paid for by the people that hate you, the people that you buy products from? How about try this? Just try this, as over 1,000 of our listeners and audience has done. Why don't you try buying American-made products that are made in America by Americans, and they're green and they're healthy and they're natural and they're not polluted with toxins, and to a company that loves you, America? How about we just try it? Just go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. Don't like it? Then don't buy anymore. Oh, that's what I say. If I don't like it, I'm not going to buy it. I do. I buy it. I eat their products. I eat their power bars every day before I go on air. Every single day, it's my routine. I take their vitamin pack every single morning, every single night. I take it. patriotsmade.com/JJ. Now I'm going to show you a clip of Victor Davis Hanson, who is, I believe, one of the wisest people right now in America. And he asked a simple question: where is the justice? And what does justice look like? Listen to what he says about justice, or the lack thereof.
Obama, he was the one that said, basically, all your lieutenants say there was no collusion. Well, that didn't work. Our collusion didn't work, and we couldn't stop him from being elected. But I want you, Brennan, and you, Clapper, and Comey, are you listening? I want all you guys go back and you concoct a new assessment that says, for the record, that your operatives found that he was colluding with the Russians. And I need it quick before he's president. That's what Obama did. If there's any justice, he should be indicted for that.
Yeah.
If there is any justice, let me tell you what I have, let me reiterate what I have said for many, many times. We are heading in for a violent kinetic war. I'm looking at it just without emotion. I'm looking at things very clear-eyed. And I'm looking at all of the telltale signs of violence. And it's inescapable. It's inescapable. And when you have one of the dumbest mayors in America, Johnson from Chicago, that has run his party he's a DEI superhero. I want you to listen to what he says about Donald Trump sending police and National Guard to his city. And if you don't think there's going to be a kinetic war, kinetic fight, you're crazy. Go ahead and play this, please, Thomas.
And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people in this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
Get ready. Here's another jackass. This is Gavin Newsom. And while he's saying this, I just want you to understand that no true straight man, no true alpha man sits like this. That's just a side note. But listen to what he's going to say about the violence.
This is radical rigging of a midterm election. Radical rigging of an election. Destroying, vandalizing this democracy, the rule of law. So I'm sorry. I know some people's sensibilities. I respect and appreciate that. But right now, with all due respect, we're walking down a damn different path. We're fighting fire with fire, and we're going to punch these sons of in the mouth.
Oh, amen to that.
Amen to that. So let me tell you something. That perfectly coiffed hair, I like him. Like his style, I like how he looks. He's a handsome man. But like my father used to tell me, son, that is a face that needs to be punched. Has that man ever been punched? Again, that's the man that's best friend helped him become mayor of San Francisco. And the way that he repaid his best friend was to bang his wife. Hate to be crude, but that's just what happened. Hey, man, thank you for giving me everything you had for over a year and a half to get me elected as a mayor of San Francisco. Oh, by the way, I slept with your wife. Just I want you to know how much I appreciate you. You don't think there's a direct correlation between those politicians making threatening or making it sound that they're blessing violence? And I'm all for it. I'm just going to be very honest. Johnson and Gavin Newsom, I'm all for it. Bring the violence. I want this to end as fast as it can happen. The fastest way to end all of this insanity is the crazy left fights physically, kinetic battle with the conservatives. And then we just decimate you. We literally kill you. Not hurt you. We'll just kill you and wipe you off the face of the earth. That's the fastest way to get rid of evil. So I'm actually champion what Johnson, that moron, and Gavin Newsom want. Bring it on. I'm all for a kinetic fight. Let's do it. Because I know what side's going to win. The side that doesn't need a tampon. The side that knows that a man can't get pregnant. So bring it on. All you betas against us alphas. Just give me enough time to wager in Vegas so I could become a ultra millionaire.
All right, welcome to Code Blue. It is August 25th, 2025. Here, Dr. John and Brooke. So the battle continues. And so we know recently Kennedy came out and recommended that healthy children should not be vaccinated with COVID-19 vaccine. But the battle's on now. And so the American Academy of Pediatrics has come out last week and gone against the CDC recommendations. How about that? So, of course, they're making the rounds, and you have people like Dr. Paul Offit, who was very much in the beginning of COVID, has pushed COVID vaccines on everyone, including children. And so he's back in the news, making his rounds. And so Logan, let's play this video here, and then we're going to talk about it.
The American Academy of Pediatrics released new COVID-19 vaccination guidelines. And for the first time, they diverged significantly from the recommendations from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. As Stephanie Sy reports, the changes leave parents with competing guidance as we head into the fall.
Amna, in May, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced the CDC would no longer be recommending the COVID shot for healthy children. But yesterday, the AAP issued contrary guidance, saying all children under the age of 2 should receive a COVID shot to protect from severe illness. It also called on insurers to continue covering the shots for that age group. For context, we're joined now by Dr. Paul Offit, pediatrician and director of the Vaccine Education Center at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Dr. Offit, thank you for joining the program. So this new AAP recommendation is based on the conclusion that children under 23 months old are at the highest risk of severe COVID. But isn't it still relatively rare among children? Do the numbers justify, you think, vaccinating all children under 2?
So there was a presentation made by Fiona Havers of the CDC in April of this year looking at what has been the impact of COVID on children in the previous year. And what she found was that thousands of children were hospitalized. Of those who were hospitalized, about 1 in 5 were admitted to the intensive care unit. Virtually all were unvaccinated, half were previously healthy, and 152 children died. Most were less than 4 years of age. So I think the impact of this virus in that age group still warrants getting a vaccine if you've never had one.
The CDC, as you know, under Secretary Kennedy, who is an overall vaccine skeptic, has reached a totally different conclusion than the AAP.
Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot, despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
That ends today. It's common sense and it's good science.
There's no evidence healthy kids need it today, and most countries have stopped recommending it for children.
The health secretary has been accused by many, including you in the past, of spreading misinformation. But the AAP is also coming under scrutiny. Kennedy and others accuse the organization of getting funding from big pharma. Who are Americans supposed to trust?
Trust the American Academy of Pediatrics, because it's the American Academy of Pediatrics that's following the science. RFK Jr. doesn't have those data. Because he doesn't have data, what he does is he chooses to lean on conspiracy theories, because that's what he always does. He believes everybody is in the pocket of big pharma, that whether it's journals, medical journals, or whether it's doctors or scientists or healthcare agencies or public health officials, everybody is in the pocket of industry except him. Who should you trust? You should trust the American Academy of Pediatrics. I think what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has done to the CDC and has done to the Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices, which advises the CDC, has been tragic. And as a consequence, most medical and scientific institutions now don't trust the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices anymore. And they certainly don't trust Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is a 20-year anti-vaccine activist, science denialist, and conspiracy theorist.
The AAP president, upon announcing these guidelines, said she wanted to provide clear and confident guidance on this. It's pretty black and white. Again, recommendation for all children under 2 to get the COVID vaccine. Do you think that sort of lack of nuance among health authorities can be problematic? Certainly during the height of the pandemic, that seemed to backfire. I mean, given the landscape of some mistrust, even of scientific expertise.
I think that what we found is that the virus still circulates. SARS-CoV-2 virus still circulates. It's going to be circulating for years, if not decades, if not centuries. You know that children by 6 months of age will be fully susceptible to this virus. You know that over the past year, thousands of children were hospitalized and more than 150 died. I don't think this is an example where we need nuance. This is an example where we need a clear, firm recommendation. And I think what the American Academy of Pediatrics has done has given us that recommendation, and we should follow it.
You're going to have doctors in the trenches who I suspect are going to be having conversations with a lot of confused parents. You may have schools wondering whether the vaccine should be mandated. What else do you expect the fallout of these diverging guidelines to be?
I think it is confusing. I think on the one hand, you have the CDC saying regarding children getting a vaccine that it's shared clinical decision-making. Then you have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. standing up and in a 1-minute video on X saying that he no longer recommends this vaccine for healthy young children. Then you have the American Academy of Pediatrics saying that in clear terms, that children less than 2 years of age who've never been vaccinated should be vaccinated uniformly, because we know that thousands of children are getting hospitalized, that most are less than 4, that 1 in 5 are admitted to the ICU, that most are unvaccinated, and half are previously healthy. So of course, healthy young children benefit from this vaccine.
That is Dr. Paul Offit, pediatrician and director of the Vaccine Education Center at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we just saw that video. Brooke, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, to me, it just sounds like the pediatrician group is protecting their profits. You know, they are very much concerned that any shade of doubt on what they have told will impact their credibility, will impact their respect. It will impact the future of their very profession, because so many people are starting to understand the gratuitous nature of medicine and how it really does have a lot to do with income, with incentives and things that are really not in the best interest of children, their families, their health, their long-term care. It actually, you know, it appears to me that it works in exactly the opposite way of the way it should. It doesn't make them healthier kids. It makes them more dependent upon their pediatricians for all the miscellaneous problems that develop from vaccines. But you're not allowed to question vaccines. You're not allowed to say, gee, doctor, does this vaccine possibly cause this eczema? Did this vaccine cause these behavioral issues that I'm dealing with my child? Does this vaccine cause, why does my child have all these behavioral problems? We can't ever, we can't ever look at the correlation from vaccines with all these other allergies and food issues and all these problems that these children are facing on an everyday basis.
Yeah. So Dr. Paul Offit, if you look him up, he is he's in his 70s, but he's a pediatrician, but he also specializes in infectious disease, vaccines, immunology, virology. He's the co-inventor of a rotavirus vaccine. And so he's been, he's also very aligned with the government. And he is a member of the FDA's Vaccine and Related Biological Products and Advisory Committee. And I think he's still on that. He's also a founding member of the Autism Science Foundation. Now, if you look that up, that's a foundation that is basically going to tell you that autism is not associated with any vaccines, period. And he's also was a former member of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. But he's one of the guys that they basically send around and talk at length about how safe these COVID vaccines are. They're safe and effective. And he's come out in line with the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they're basically going to say all children under the age of 2 need to be vaccinated with COVID. And so isn't that ironic? Just a few years ago, it was all about following the CDC recommendations. Now, when the CDC recommendations change, well, now the American Academy of Pediatrics they're the boss now, and they don't have to follow the CDC guidelines. So once again, this is what I would recommend. The American Academy of Pediatrics is they basically fall under the American Medical Association, and that's what I want. And I know we've talked about this a lot in the past, but I want you guys to understand that the American Medical Association is not our friend. They're just not. They've been around forever. They were started in the mid 1800s, if you can believe that. And so, but they're not our friends. Now, we're going to take a break in just a moment. We're going to come back and we're going to discuss this further, because this is a very important, we must educate ourselves, and we're going to give you some other sources that you can go to besides the American Medical Association. and learn more. Hear both sides of the story, because the American Medical Association and the American Academy of Pediatrics is only going to give you one narrative, and that's pushing big pharma and vaccines. So with that, we'll be right back in just a moment.
July 6, 2005. This is Tom Harper. Man figures plankton stopped his rare cancer. We got more of a response from our viewers than anything else you and I have ever discussed.
Tom Harper, 20 years ago, he had mesothelioma, deadly lung cancer, was given weeks to live, and he just intuitively started to eat the phytoplankton out of his fish tanks because he fed the phytoplankton to his shellfish. He was a shellfish farmer. And when he went in for the surgery, the surgeon came out of the operating room and told his family, I have not ever seen anything like it. The cancer is benign, and Tom Harper lived for years. He retired in Hawaii. We're not making any claim.
Here he is in his own words.
Started on a daily routine of just taking a bit of paste, putting it in my mouth, and wash it down with a drink of water. Within about 10 to 15 days, here I am, less pain in my back. I knew that something was going on, so I just kept eating half a teaspoon of this paste a day. I was booked to go for surgery in Victoria, where they were going to do what they call a talc treatment. They went in there to have a look, saw something they never seen before, took 11 sites, sent them away for biopsy. I got the news back. Everything was benign. They just did not know what to make of it. Everything was absolutely clean. And I've tried dieting all my life because I'm a diabetic. If it's a coincidence or not, I don't know. My blood sugar started dropping. My weight started falling off. Here I am, no longer requiring insulin, and I was taking 88 units a day of insulin. I can eat just about what I want in moderation, and I have no elevated sugar levels, and I feel fabulous.
People, you hear the word cancer and they want you to be instilled with fear. Cancer is nothing but a profound failure of the immune system. And what happened with Tom Harper is the phytoplankton is microscopic. It's God's microscopic food. And the Gatatiana is the most nutritionally comprehensive strain of phytoplankton in the world. David Hunter studied phytoplankton for 20 years because he worked for Tom Harper, and he was there in person and witnessed Tom's recovery. It's about getting pure nutrition inside your cells. And what happens, your body balances again or goes back to homeostasis. And when your body is pH balanced or in homeostasis, disease can't grow. It is literally microscopic, pure single cell plant food with protein and omega-3 fatty acids, omega-6 fatty acids, with amino acids and vitamins and minerals. One scoop a day. There's 90 billion plant cells in here just for everyday nutrition and energy and, cognitive support, because this is God's pure nutrition.
Go to melissahousegpa.com today. Discover the science and learn more about the wonderful benefits of Gatatiana phytoplankton. That's melissahousegpa.com. melissahousegpa.com.
All right, welcome back to Code Blue. So as we were talking there, so the American Academy of Pediatrics, this is an organization that really falls under the American Medical Association. They align with the same leftist ideals. These are the same people that push transgenderism. They push that, they don't know how to define a woman. Many of these people are promoting that children be born and don't put a sex on their birth certificate. Wait and let the child decide what sex they want to be at some point. These are the kind of radical ideologies that these organizations push. So let's show the letter here, Logan, that from X. This is what Robert Kennedy has put together. So here, if you go to the American Academy of Pediatrics website, as Kennedy did, these are some of the corporate donors: Merck, Moderna, Pfizer, and these donors, these pharmaceutical companies, these are the ones that make the childhood vaccine. So you would think that would be a conflict of interest. Here these people are donating lots of money to this Friends of Children Fund. So this is how this works, folks. I mean, it all boils down to money. And these pharmaceutical companies that push these vaccines, they give donations. They also give seminars and all sorts of perks to these physicians and these physician groups. And so, as Kennedy stated here, he says this is a screenshot of the American Academy of Pediatrics web page, thanking the organization's top corporate donors. These four companies make virtually every vaccine on the CDC recommended childhood vaccine schedule. So, this needs to be disclosed. We need to know exactly who is donating and how much. This is certainly a conflict of interest. Now, Kennedy goes on, if you note here on the bottom, this is very important. He says the AAP should also be candid with doctors and hospitals that recommendations that diverge from the CDC's official list are not shielded from liability under the 1986 Vaccine Injury Act. So that's a very key part of what he's saying there. So, he is, under his leadership, he has taken the COVID-19 vaccine off the childhood vaccine schedule. And so he's telling hey, doctors, hospitals, whoever, if y'all want to push these COVID vaccines to children, then you're going to be liable in case of injury. And they need to be telling their patients that. Now, will they? That's another side of the story. So, Brooks, what's your thoughts there?
Well, something that's been missing in medicine, and after we had this horrific incident, testing everything that they did, the Tuskegee incident that many people are aware of, they came down hard and they said, we've got to give informed consent, and we can't have any kind of testing being done that's going to be harmful to people. We can't do things to people without them knowing about it. They need to be fully informed about the risk and benefits and everything. Well, I learned this morning, I listened to a really good podcast that Cheryl Atkinson had done on informed consent. And under Obama's years, they rolled that back a little bit. And come to find out, they've been doing a lot of testing on people without them even knowing about it. And that's essentially what the whole vaccine propaganda schedule has been. It's basically administering drugs, watching what happens, seeing what the outcomes are going to be, and not really having any benefits to be able to make people aware of. And so that's essentially what they've been doing with this COVID vaccine. They experimented on everyone that rolled up their sleeve. They guilted them, they incentivized